Our next question is, what is the impact on culture during the pandemic? And what are you doing to address organizational culture and employee engagement at the time when people are working remotely or in isolation?
Absolutely, absolutely. So here's what I always like to say about culture. And I'd like to think I'm the creator of this quote, but if I'm not, then someone can correct me. I always like to say culture is the gift that keeps on giving when leadership does not recognize the precise moment in time in which it needs to pivot or realign its values or reevaluate the need for organizational change. Because when I think about culture, I think about culture being led from the top, customs and practices that have led the organization over history or over time. And when that culture never changes to adapt to what's happening in the world, a pandemic, social injustice, diversity, equity, and inclusion, that culture becomes old and stale and sort of crusty around the corners. And so leadership must recognize when it needs to change. Our workforce is much more sophisticated. They are aware of their rights. They are more socially involved, socially aware, more conscious, more connected with community, particularly as we have the younger folks coming in to the workforce.
Oh, yes.
And so we have to be aware. Our culture speaks loudly now, and in particular, in the pandemic, your culture is speaking loudly about how it cares about you as an employee. Empathy. Has your culture demonstrated that it's family friendly, for example? Has your culture demonstrated that the employees may need some resources? Someone mentioned the EAP or the Employee Assistance Program. Your culture drives this. Your culture demonstrates this.